circle, centers for Cousins, a shot, and he scores. Dylan Cousins makes it 3-0 Lethbridge here.
Lyram gonna take it coast to coast on a backhand, scores!
To the blue line, Vandalese, that effort, tip, scores! Carson Folk is Mr. Teddy Bear! A deflection.
He scores! It's over! It's over! Game 7, overtime, hero!
Hi, hello, and welcome to the WHL Podcast. I'm Zach Hodder, the Manager of Player Development for the Western Hockey League, and your host for this week's episode. Off the hop, I've got some breaking news. The WHL is going to be pausing its season until we have the proper authority from the local, governmental, provincial, federal, and state-level governments. No, it's not the news you want to hear right off the top of the WHL Podcast, but unfortunately, that's the situation we're in. With that being said, we have a great episode for you today. We have 2019 first overall selection from the WHL draft, Winnipeg ICE forward Matt Savoie. We have WHL Commissioner Ron Robison to talk to us about the Memorial eCup, as well as Jack Finley of the Spokane Chiefs, who recently signed his entry-level contract with the Tampa Bay Lightning. But before all that, it's time for the news and notes. 9 WHL players and 1 WHL alumni will be representing Team Canada at the World Junior Championships. They are goaltenders Taylor Gauthier of the Prince George Cougars, Dylan Garand of the Kamloops Blazers, defenseman Braden Schneider of the Brandon Wheat Kings, defenseman Caden Korzak of the Kelowna Rockets, Bowen Byram of the Vancouver Giants, and Caden Gooley of the Prince Albert Raiders. Moving on to the forwards, Connor Zary from the Kamloops Blazers, Peyton Krebs of the Winnipeg ICE, Dylan Cousins of the Lethbridge Hurricanes, and alumni Kirby Dock of the Chicago Blackhawks, who used to play for the Saskatoon Blades. In addition to the players representing the WHL, will also be represented by General Manager Al Miller of the Moose Jaw Warriors, Assistant Coach Mitch Love of the Saskatoon Blades, Assistant Coach Tyler Dietrich of the Saskatoon Blades, Assistant Coach Michael Dick of the Vancouver Giants, goalie coach Jason LaBarbera of the Calgary Hitmen, and athletic therapist Brian Cheeseman of the Edmonton Oil Kings. A fun fact about Brian Cheeseman is he spent the entire NHL playoffs in the bubble as an athletic therapist for the NHL, and then he went to Team Canada's training camp out in Red Deer where he had to spend another 14 days in quarantine, and now he's re-entering the bubble with Team Canada at the World Junior Championships. Games start for Canada on December 26th as they take on Germany. Staying with the World Junior Championships, it is official. Dustin Wolf of the Everett Silvertips, the reigning CHL goaltender of the year, will be in between the pipes for Team USA for a second time. The Calgary Flames draft pick will be looking to take over the starting position this year after winning the one appearance he had at last year's World Junior Championship. A pair of Tampa Bay Lightning second-round picks have signed their entry-level contracts. Jack Finley of the Spokane Chiefs was selected 57th overall by the Lightning and scored 57 points for Spokane last season, including 19 goals and 38 assists. Gage Gonsalves of the Everett Silvertips, meanwhile, was the 62nd overall selection by Tampa at the 2020 NHL Draft, and most recently was a final cut of Team Canada at the World Junior Championship. Last season, he scored 33 goals and 38 assists for 71 points with the Silvertips. And finally, back to the Memorial eCup, where my nemesis, Lucas Fejkovsky of the Medicine Hat Tigers, is moving on to the finals. Lucas swept the Mississauga Steelheads in the semifinals, and he will find out his opponent after the Acadie Bathurst Titan and the St. John's Sea Dogs play their game tonight. Back to the Western Hockey League, the Vancouver Giants have acquired Lethbridge Hurricanes defenseman Zachary Ashton for a conditional pick. In 78 games in the Western Hockey League, Ashton has recorded 1 goal and 9 assists for 10 points. That's it for the news and notes this week. For everything else WHL, you can check out our Twitter account at the WHL. The mascots of the WHL have come together to raise money for children and communities across the Western Hockey League through the Tees for Toys campaign. That's Tees for Toys. From November 18th until December 11th, you can purchase limited edition holiday-themed mascot-inspired t-shirts.
That's a mouthful to say.
$7 from each shirt that is sold will go directly to charities in your communities.
This sounds like the perfect stock.
To check out the shirts, head to whl.ca/Tees for Toys.
Jack Finley. Finley splitting defenders, shoots and scores! Goal number 14 on the year for Jack Finley.
Today I'm joined by a second-round pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He recently signed his entry-level contract with the club. He's a member of the Spokane Chiefs. It's Jack Finley. Jack, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, you know, Christmas is right around the corner. I know when I was your age, I definitely didn't have my Christmas shopping done until the 23rd to 24th, but do you have everybody in your family accounted for?
Yeah, I've been going out this week and trying to find stuff in Kelowna. So I think I got a big family, so I think I've got all of them.
Well, let's transition back to this big news for yourself and your family. You've signed with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who selected you only, a couple months ago in the NHL entry draft. What was the conversation like leading up to that? And did you have any idea or expectation that they'd sign you this quickly?
It felt like it was yesterday. It was a really cool experience. I mean, obviously, it sucked that it was at home because it would have been nice to be there for the draft. But leading up to it, I hadn't talked to Tampa Bay a whole lot. I knew their assistant general manager a little bit through Kelowna, but once they drafted me, it was so cool, and it was definitely a dream come true, and especially the Stanley Cup champions for a team like that, to want me was so cool, and I think that the contract and the signing was just a little bit out of the blue. I didn't really expect it this early, but I'm honored that I can officially say I'm a Tampa Bay Lightning.
Well, when you did sign with Tampa and when they were going through the process of actually putting pen to the paper, what about your game do they like, and do they think that you're going to bring to that organization?
Yeah, well, I think the thing about them is they're so good at developing players. You see just a guy like Braden Point and how they've really developed him into a star in the NHL, and I think that they think they could help me out and really develop my game, but I think they just like my size and the heavy game that I play. I can play up and down a lineup, and I think as a young guy that'll really help a team just being able to like I said, play up and down a lineup.
Yeah, I mean, they've been able to develop not just guys like Braden Point, but you look at Mikhail Sergachev, you look at Cirelli, you look at Matthew Joseph. All these guys have come through that program, and you're definitely lucky to be there. But your journey to get there has been a little unique. And what I'm talking about right now is the CHL Top Prospects game. You had quite an adventure when you went there. Can you just kind of tell us about what happened on your trip back to Spokane?
Yeah, no, it was the prospects game was really fun, and it was a really good experience. And on the way back, it was a little crazy. I wasn't really expecting it. I flew through Chicago. It was just a snowstorm there, so all the flights got canceled in Chicago. So it was just madness in the airport. I'm trying to reach out to the people back in Spokane. There's people everywhere, and I had to wait for like 4 hours in the airport, and I got a flight the next afternoon. I waited there till about 2 a.m. Just waiting for my bags to come out. And then I went to the airport. I didn't have very much money, so I went to the airport shuttle to my hotel, waited there for 2 hours, never came. So then it was like 3:34. I called an Uber. I was one of the last people at the hotel. I called an Uber. Uber came. We were driving back to the hotel, and it was just still like a blizzard, and we actually got into a car accident on the highway. We did a 360 and slammed into the Meridian, and like I didn't really know what was going on. I was so out of it. And then we got back, finally made it to the hotel. I was too young to check in, so they called the police. The police came. They said there's a motel across the street that they let you in. So we hopped in the back of the squad car, drove across the street. We went to the motel, and they said I could check in, but there was also another kid. I didn't know who he was. He was from Montreal or something. Who was in the same situation as me. So they roomed us together. So I was rooming with some random kid. just got to the motel, went to bed, and then got up the next day and went to the airport. So it was crazy. It was kind of funny looking back on it now. But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I remember being in the office that day and just the panic that was coming through from our office, trying to make sure where you were and everything that was going on. And then we found out about the car accident. It was just, I'm sure it's a story at the time that you're like, oh my God, this is the worst day ever. But in hindsight, it's definitely a story you'll have for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's funny.
Well, Jack, just my last kind of question for you right now. It's such a difficult time during the COVID-19 pandemic. For yourself, it should be such an exciting time. You did just sign your entry-level contract. You're coming into a big year in the Western Hockey League, and unfortunately, because of COVID, we've had to pause. So how have you been able to create a mindset of development every day and motivating yourself and just working through kind of the difficulty that is the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, it's definitely been hard. It's hard for everyone, not just hockey players. And I think, I've been pretty lucky this summer, with everything that's bad going on, there's also been, a lot of great things that have come in my life. I got drafted, I signed, I got an opportunity to play with the junior A team until last week. So I got in a couple games. So I think, just those things have just really helped me stay on track and stay motivated. Obviously, if we want to believe that we're going to be playing, in the start of the new year. So I think that itself too is another motivator. But I think just trying to stay positive and really leaning on the people around you, like family and friends and trainers and stuff. So it's been tough, but I'm happy with how my summer for development's gone.
Well, Jack, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Again, congratulations to yourself and your family on the big accomplishment there, signing with Tampa. Hope you guys stay safe and healthy over the holiday season, and we're looking forward to see you back on the ice once our season gets going.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Puck pops free. Right corner, Feist. Centering pass out front. A shot and a score! Jack Finley from the weak side, and he gives Spokane a 1-0 lead with 1:41 to go in the first. Here come the Chiefs from right to left.
Big thank you to the Spokane Chiefs and Jack Finley for setting that up. Up next, we've got the first overall pick from the 2019 WHL Draft. He is used to the pressure. This is a young man who, since he's been about 12 or 13 years old, has been expected to do great things. And up to this point in his career, he's certainly achieved everything. It was a great conversation. It's Matt Savoie.
I'd like to see him move closer. Don't drift out. Stay in your spot.
Here's Savoy again walking in, shot block. Second crack at him, he scores! First of the tournament for Matt Savoie! And the 15-year-old is
Matt Savoie and Cole Sillinger have been there.
Today, I'm joined by the first overall selection of the 2019 WHL Draft. He's had quite an impressive start to his junior hockey career already with Sherwood Park Crusaders Alberta Junior Hockey League. He has 6 points in 4 games this season to start the year before they were shut down. It's Winnipeg ICE's selection, Matt Savoie. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
So obviously, very unique way to start this season, but how's your first taste of being a regular full-time junior hockey player been with Sherwood Park?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously with the whole COVID thing, it's been tough to, find ice and get skating, but I was fortunate enough to find a local junior team here, and my brother and my good friend Mike played for that team. So we got some connections there, and, we reached out and they were great about it. So yeah, I thought it was a really good fit for me, and, just to keep playing, I thought it was a really positive thing for my game, and, to get more comfortable with the junior level, I thought it was a big step for me.
Well, you got to play in 22 Western Hockey League games last season. You got to go to your first training camp as well. Coming in as the first overall pick, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectation. What was it like for you heading into your first training camp with the Ice last year?
Yeah, definitely not, pretty nervous. Don't know what to think. It's your first training camp. You're 15 years old, and there's obviously some people looking at you. Yeah, I tried to just go have fun with it and, do it for the experience. That's what I was told to do, and, have fun and, just work hard. And The guys were great. The older guys, the leadership group and the coaching staff and the whole staff down there took me in really well. So yeah, I was pretty thankful for that. So they made it a pretty easy transition.
You also played for Rink Hockey Academy last year, which is in Winnipeg. You're from Edmonton, St. Albert to be specific, but you've been playing for NAX for the past couple of years. What was it like for you to make the move to Winnipeg for that whole season? You're away from the family for the first time. And how was that transition and how'd you find it?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot different. I've never really moved away from home before. Last year was my first year. So it was definitely an adjustment, but like I said, like the teammates and the coaching staff and even my billets, like they made it super easy, made me feel comfortable and stuff like that. So yeah, they made it a really smooth transition and I thank them.
Well, you weren't in Winnipeg that much actually because you were busy representing Canada on 2 separate occasions. You got to experience the under-17 World Championships as an underage player. That must have been a heck of an experience for yourself. You went in, you had a great tournament, you had a point a game, but what was it like going to get to play with those kids that you've played against at the Canada Winter Games, as you did also as an underager, but now you're playing against international competition? What was that experience like, and who are some of the players that you might not have played against before that really caught your eye at that tournament?
It was obviously really special to be selected for that team. That's a pretty high-end tournament. So yeah, I was super thankful for that. And it was a fun tournament. I knew a lot of guys on my team, and we did the best out of the Canadian teams. We got 4th. We lost in the bronze medal game, but yeah, I thought we all had a good tournament. It was good to come in and play well for that tournament. I thought that was a big step for me. Tough competition. We played the U.S. and they were good. They only had 1 team and we had 3. So they had a couple good guys like Luke Hughes and a couple forwards. So yeah, they were good.
And then the other tournament you got to go to, it only happens every couple of years, the Youth Olympic Games. You were the captain of that team. You guys got to travel overseas. What was it like going from the under-17s where, you're the underage player, but you're still an important part of the team, to the Youth Olympic Games where you're the captain and you're the guy? How did you handle that leadership role that was passed on to you?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot different. Lots of the guys were looking more towards me, whereas at U17, they would have been looking to a different guy, an older guy. So I had to, adapt to that leadership role, and I always try to be a leader and stuff like that. So, that experience was great, though. I didn't know many guys going into it. There was only 1 other guy from West, or 2 other guys from Western Canada. So, yeah, I was pretty out of the blue when I first got there, but, it made some good friendships and, guys that I'll talk to probably for the rest of my life.
And guys that you'll probably play against for the rest of your life too, especially as you start to enter the Western Hockey League, you start to do more Hockey Canada events. But, you again, were the first overall selection. You've been one of the top players of your age group since you were a young kid, but there's still things that you need to develop and you need to work on. So what's an area that you spent this summer trying to improve on for this season?
This summer I've been working a lot on my shot, just the deception of it and the release, as well as like making plays at top speeds. Just carrying my speed as well as being able to make plays. I admire a lot of players that can do that at a high end level. And, I wanted to take my game to the next level. And I think that's one of the big reasons that I hope it can.
Well, let's transition away from the rink. There's a lot more to life than hockey. Let's get to know Matt a little bit more. Right now, obviously, we can't go watch hockey. We can't go to concerts. We can't really do much, especially here in Alberta. But when we are able to get back to see live events, who's a band, musician, or artist that you'd like to see?
I've only been to 1 concert. It was Drake. It was a pretty good one. I was on the floor for that one. So I don't know. Probably some kind of country music. I've been into country a lot lately, so yeah, probably a country band.
Which NHL player do you think that you model your game after?
Player like McKinnon or Barzal, just explosive speed and, likes to make plays at high ends and has a good shot. So I try to model my game after those guys.
I know you're a year ahead in school. You must be a smart guy. What's your favorite subject in school right now?
Probably either math or English. Not a very popular opinion, but
hey, those are the best things to be good at. Who's your favorite non-NHL hockey player? Non-NHL athlete?
Probably Damian Lillard.
Dame Lillard. Do you like his rapping too, or no?
I've never really heard it.
Do yourself a treat and look it up after this. But Matt, thanks again for taking time out of your day. Hope that you and your family stay safe and healthy over this holiday season, and we're able to get going in early January.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you to Matt for setting that up for us. Our last interview today will be with the WHL's Commissioner, Ron Robison. We sat down briefly to talk about the Memorial eCup, and Ron took it as an opportunity to get a few jabs in my way. Hope you enjoy our conversation. I'm joined by WHL Commissioner Ron Robison. Ron, the Kia Memorial eCup is coming to a close. We have Lucas Saykovsky of the Medicine Hat Tigers coming into the finals. What have you thought of this whole experience?
Well, first of all, congratulations to all the players who participated across the Canadian Hockey League in this wonderful concept. To follow the Kia Memorial eCup throughout from start to finish and see how these players have engaged in it has been a lot of fun. And I think it's been a real exciting initiative for us and brings a lot of attention to the event.
Well, Lucas beat me in a contested game, his first game of the tournament actually it was a close score, 7-1. He didn't pull a goalie to let me score at the end, but this has been an event that has really showcased some of our players, some of their personalities. And I just want to know how you think you would have done had you played in this tournament.
Well, Zach, I think anyone, quite frankly, could have done a lot better than you did. I heard that it was really over after the first 5 minutes of the opening period, and there's no looking back. And obviously, you've met Lucas, who's gone on now to great things in this particular tournament. But your performance was really had a lot to be desired.
Well, I mean, it hurts a little bit to hear that from my boss, but we'll keep plowing ahead here. Ron, you've been the WHL commissioner now for over 20 years. You've been to 20 years of Memorial Cups, except for, unfortunately, this past season. But is there a Memorial Cup that stands out to you as one of the ones you look back on fondly?
Well, anytime you have the opportunity to host a Memorial Cup, it's a real honor for this league. And, of course, when the host team or our league champion representing the WHL wins, those are probably my most favorite memories. And we had some pretty good runs if you look back into the mid-2000s, early 2000s. But since that time, it's been a little bit more of a challenge. We've had 4 finalists and one champion in the last 10 years. So we're looking forward to getting back the Memorial Cup and playing again so that we can see what we can do against that Ontario and Quebec leagues. Well, if Lucas ends up winning the whole tournament, I think we should be putting him on the actual Memorial Cup because he did win it. We had to adapt to the situation that we were in, and I think we did a really good job, which leads me to my last question. Video games have been around for a very long time. I am sure that you are an avid gamer on your days off. What's your favorite video game and how long have you been playing for? Haven't spent a lot of time on the video games lately. I do admire the people who play them so well, and especially our players who love them. Of course, I'm sure it takes up a fair amount of time on road trips and so forth. But when you look at it, the games have changed a lot over the years. I was a pretty avid player on the board games, if you will, back in the old days, and could probably take you on in bubble hockey if you want anytime. So, but I'll leave the new games and the video expertise to people like Lucas, and our players have done such a great job. And we want to wish Lucas the very best representing the Western Hockey League in the Kia Memorial eCup when that gets going. Well, Ron, if bubble hockey ever comes in the office, I'll make sure to kick your butt to get back at you for that comment you made at the beginning of this interview. But otherwise, thanks for taking time out of your day. I know you're very busy right now, and I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season. Thanks very much, Zach, and good luck in the broadcasting career because you don't have a career in the video side. That's it for the WHL podcast this week. A big thank you to Jack Finley and Matt Savoie, and a moderate thank you to Ron Robison, considering all he did was make fun of me the entire time. But either way, it was a pleasure to have him. Thank you for listening. My name is Zach Hodder. You can follow me on Twitter at Zach Hodder. You can follow the Western Hockey League at the WHL. And I hope that you are staying safe and healthy. You finished your Christmas shopping, and you're going to be able to enjoy time with the loved ones around you as best you can, given the restrictions we're living in. Have a great week. We'll drop another episode again next Wednesday.